Top 10 luxury cars in the world. The best luxury cars were once synonymous with large limousine saloons, but that hasn't been the case for quite a long time. A lot of those traditional saloons, the Mercedes S-Class, BMW 7 Series and Audi A8, still feature on this list. Many are now available with plug-in hybrid powertrains, as well as the usual large-capacity diesels and V8s. There are even some electric cars here. Regardless of body style and method of propulsion, they need to offer outstanding comfort in the front and back seats, isolating ride and noise refinement, and a sumptuous interior. For many owners, these cars will also be status symbols above all. Before moving forward, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for future interesting videos. 1. BMW A7, $106,695 to $169,495. If you need proof of how serious BMW is about staking its claim on luxury car glory, then consider the fact the i7 and its ICE-powered 7 Series sibling will only be available in leg-stretching, long wheelbase guise. While the previous 6 generations of the brand's flagship saloons have placed as much emphasis on driver delight and pampering passengers, this all-new model is all about 5-star cosseting and cutting-edge tech. Not so the interior, which melds all the latest technology with traditional craftsmanship and a rich array of natural materials, including the surprisingly indulgent cashmere wall trim you can choose for the seats. 2. Mercedes-Benz S-Class, $118,450 to $129,300. BMW may have knocked it out of the park with the latest 7 Series, but the Mercedes-Benz S-Class is still the default option for good reason. It was last redesigned in 2020, embracing digitization more than ever before. In that respect, it has undoubtedly succeeded. The cabin feels reassuringly traditional yet avant-garde, and the scope of the vast displays manages to avoid the jarring omnipresence seen with other manufacturers' cars. 3. BMW X88, $1,095 to $112,495. Number 3 on this list is a double whammy of convention defiance. Not only is the BMW X not a saloon, but it also doesn't have a combustion engine. It came just over a year before the BMW i7, but is effectively that car a few inches higher up in the air. It's perhaps marginally less opulent, but having a hatchback, it's also a bit more practical. A BMW like no other is how our man Greg Cable described the X, the firm's new all-electric luxury SUV flagship model for its i-brand. 4. Range Rover $108,875 to $371,475. The latest 5th generation is a very long way from the mildly gentrified farm truck that was the original Range Rover. It is now a fully fledged luxury car, one that trades some of the other entries' on-road dynamics for unbelievable off-road ability. Under the skin, it's all new, featuring Land Rover's MLA Flex architecture, which has an 80% aluminium construction for lightness and strength. Torsional rigidity is up 50% over the old car. In combination with finely honed air suspension, 48V active anti-roll bars, and the availability of 4-wheel steering, this Range Rover handles with assured precision and surprising agility. It's also whisper quiet on the move and has a sumptuous ride that steamrollers awkward topography into submission. 5. Mercedes-Benz EQS, $105,550 to $136,650. Mercedes-Benz is taking a rather different approach to its flagship EV saloon from its BMW rival. Where the BMW 7 Series and BMW i7 share a platform, the S-Class and the EQS are entirely different cars. The quiet running of an EV undoubtedly suits a luxury car, and the EQS is quite the engineering achievement. With a drag coefficient of 0.20, it uses the lack of air vents to good effect, and in combination with a massive 120 kWh battery, that helps it to achieve a real-world range of close to 400 miles in Mercedes EQS 450+ guise. It's roomy and quiet, and it rides reasonably well too. However, some of the materials in the interior aren't up to the standards you would expect of a car that starts from over £105,000. The EQS we've driven in the UK have also come on very big wheels, and they couldn't quite match the best riding cars here. 6. Audi A8 and Audi S8 $91,995. The Audi A8 is one of the older cars on this list. The current generation was always a bit behind its peers for refinement, and although the A8's quality interior feels like it was built to outlast civilization itself, it lacks the sense of occasion of the latest BMW 7 Series or Range Rover. However, a facelift in 2022 has allowed Audi to throw a box of technology at its flagship limousine. While all A8s have adaptive air suspension, the sportier V8-powered S8 features what Audi calls predictive active suspension, which mixes forward-facing cameras with a height-adjustable air suspension setup that incorporates fast-acting electromechanical actuators at each wheel. Although manufacturers such as DS and Genesis tout similar-sounding systems, this one really works thanks to air springs and 48V active anti-roll bars. Bumps and sleeping policemen pass by uncannily smoothly. 7. Range Rover Sport $85,075 to $119,675. The last Range Rover wasn't a small car, but the new one is truly gargantuan on European roads. Four-wheel steering and straight sides make it manageable. But you might just want the Range Rover experience in a slightly smaller package. The Range Rover Sport shares much with its full-size sibling, not least its outstanding mechanical refinement and luxury appeal. Where the Sport distinguishes itself is its capacity to control its considerable mass, to sharpen the precision of its responses, and to distinguish itself as something of a driver's car. While it is still an undemanding vehicle to drive, it is also tactile and at least a little communicative. So if the Sport is a slightly more Europe-appropriate Range Rover, isn't it also simply a better Range Rover? Not really, because some of the perceived quality of its interior materials doesn't quite stack up, and when comparing with the best luxury cars, that does knock it down a few places. 8. BMW X7 $82,895 to $150,395. Don't think of the X7 as an enlarged BMW X5, says the Munich-based firm, but rather a jacked-up BMW 7 Series that has been ready for limited off-roading work. That description doesn't much account for the fact that the X7 is a 7-seat, 2-box passenger car with an extended roofline, of course, but it does tell you about the priorities that BMW's designers and engineers had when it came to refining and tuning the car, which has now been facelifted to bring in line with its lower-slung 7 Series saloon sibling. 9. Audi Q8 $74,895 to $82,995. A great many enthusiasts have taken against the modern luxury car buyer's preference for the SUV. But when you drive a car like the Audi Q8, it's easy to appreciate why they're so light. This designer take on the Audi Q7 has more visual presence and curbside appeal than its dowgier, boxier relation, but the same brilliantly rich, solid feeling and inviting interior. It offers generous space for 4 adults conveyed at a height that makes you feel like you're lifted above the melee of traffic below. 10. Mercedes EQS SUV $181,050 to $206,050. But the EQS SUV, as you'd imagine from the slightly inelegant name, shares the same underpinnings. That's not such a bad thing. The steering feel is surprisingly defined, and refinement is an area it scores exceptionally well in. There is virtually no road noise. Passengers will just have to put up with the tiniest trace of wind noise, and even then that's mostly at motorway speed. Passengers will be able to feel potholes, much in the same way that you can kind of feel the earth spinning on its axis if you really concentrate. If you enjoyed from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content. Thanks for watching.